Hello, I am Emely Chamorro, and I will be talking about a time of havoc in Nicaragua. In order for you to understand the civil war in Nicaragua, I will be discussing three different topics. 1. The Somoza dictatorship. 2. The Sandinista revolution. And 3. The Contra War. Alright, so imagine the leader of your country said that you were nothing but an oxen, that all you needed was work and labor, not schooling or education because you were not worthy enough. This is how General Anastasio Somoza described the people of Nicaragua in the 1950s. The Somoza dictatorship lasted for 43 years, from 1936 to 1979. First, through the father, Anastasio Somoza Garcia, and then through his son, Luis Somoza de Baile. The Somoza dictatorship ran Nicaragua as if it were a big estate. They split it up in between the richest families. They called them the elites. They even sold the poor in between these families so they can work on farms called latifundios. They also did not provide funding for schooling or universities. Even when Nicaragua had a natural disaster, an earthquake that destroyed most of Managua, which is the capital of Nicaragua, they used the international financial aid that they received for themselves and for these elite families. The Somoza era was full of corruption, fraud, income inequality in between the poor and the rich, and dramatically increasing poverty rates. Due to this unfair ruling, a new political party began to rise. They were called La Frente Sandinista de Liberación Nacional. I will be saying Sandinistas for short. Although the name came from an early revolutionary named Agosto C. Sandino, the founder of this political party group was Carlos Fonseca. The thing that sparked the revolution during the Somoza dictatorship was the murder of Pedro Joaquin Chamorro. He was a famous publisher of an opposing newspaper to the Somoza dictatorship named La Prensa. Due to the growth of the Sandinista party, Luis Somoza de Baile, the dictator at the time, decided to flee to the United States and then to Paraguay, only to be murdered there in 1980 by an Argentinian guerrilla. The war between the Sandinistas and the Somozas took about 45,000 lives. This also left Nicaragua in great international debt. Somozas left and the Sandinistas came into power. They created an Assembly for National Reconstruction, which focused on rebuilding the nation and not on international dilemmas. It also promoted social justice, equality in income, which was something that the Somozas did not do. It rebuilt the nation, nationalized banks, and created the National Crusade of Alphabetation. It was an illiteracy campaign. This was especially recognized worldwide because it decreased the illiteracy rate from 53% to 12%. Although the Sandinistas seemed to be a prosperous political party, they had very left-wing ideals, meaning that they were very communist. This connected to me personally because this was the reason why my parents left Nicaragua to come to the US, because of the Somozas against the Sandinistas. The war was brutal and it had so much violence that it caused people to flee. This caused also a new uprising, called the Contra War. It was the people's reaction to the Sandinista revolution. This Contra War lasted from 1979 to 1990. It started because they were opposing the Sandinistas' communist views. Due to the US fear of the spread of communism, the Reagan administration sent military to train the Contras so they can fight the Sandinistas. This war cost 30,000 lives. The involvement of the US was kept in secret for many, many years. Once it became out in the open, it was called the Iran-Contra Affair. Through their many efforts, finally, in 1989, the Sandinista leader at the time, Daniel Ortega, signed an agreement that elections would take place the following year. So, in 1990, Daniel Ortega ran up against a woman named Violeta Barrios de Chamorro. She was able to promote unity in Nicaragua by saying, "I will help my Nicaraguan family." The election ended the wars, and it brought peace. Yet, till this day, the Sandinistas still have a major role in Nicaragua's political party. The reason why Violeta Barrios de Chamorro ran for president was because her husband was the publisher that was murdered by the Somozas or the Sandinistas. It is still unknown, which was Pedro Joaquin Chamorro. All three conflicts were considered a part of the Civil War because it was the people's reaction to the government ruling at the time. I hope I have informed you about the three different events that made up the Civil War, and as well as the amount of time and the amount of lives it took for Nicaragua to finally come to peace. Thank you.